This is Game Changers in the C-Suite, where leaders open up about the key moments that changed their approach to talent. Their personal stories illustrate how their decisions reshape their organizations and continue to build stronger communities.
The apprentice program has been a wild success from a number of dimensions. I mean, the most important is the individuals themselves, the apprentices who ultimately became, at the time, my colleagues at Accenture. They were just very dedicated, very hardworking. They brought a different perspective to our business. They came from a different path than a lot of our employees did, and therefore they were immediately additive to our culture and the experience, not only in the office, but out in our client work as well. From Accenture, it gave us a source of new talent. Ultimately, it gave us a more informed and more diverse workforce. Mayor Emanuel was at an event. The event happened to be hosted by a great Chicago nonprofit called 1 Million Degrees. At that breakfast, the mayor talked about the challenges of making city colleges more relevant, giving people who are pursuing degrees and bettering themselves through those institutions, giving them a chance. And it was that breakfast that really we listened and we heard a few stories of people who were achieving success and went back to the office and literally on a whiteboard that afternoon crafted what was the beginnings of the Chicago Apprentice program for Accenture. The program really consisted of identifying students who were in their second year of achievement of their associate's degree. Most of those students the first year were from Wilbur Wright College within the City College network. And we offered them a 12-month program where they would be paid a salary and benefits. They would join our organization and they would continue with their schooling on their associate's degree as well as getting incremental training from our organization, learning on the job, if you will. And at the end of the program, if there was a mutual fit, we agreed, they were offered full-time employment to join the firm. This was never a philanthropy. I knew it had to be purposely built into our P&L. I didn't have a line item that said, go fund this work over here. And what we chose to do consciously is fund it through actual cost of goods, people's salaries on our P&L, open roles that we had in the organization that at one time were only available to, full 4-year graduate type individuals. And when we did that, that's what gave us the ability to really expand the program. If it would have just been, a nice to do and the right thing to do, and we would have, isolated a line on the budget every year to bring a few folks in. But I think for us, about year 2 or 3 into the program, we realized that to really achieve the scale and the full potential in Accenture, we needed this to have a real place in our DNA and the way we were running our business. And that's what we did. The Apprentice Network for me was always very personal. I actually grew up in Chicago. I'm a Chicago person through and through. Before I started at Accenture, I actually got my real estate license at Wilbur Wright College. So I think a lot of dimensions just spoke to me. My own personal journey, my own life experience, the fact that I knew of city colleges. It was the right thing to do. I saw in the apprentices we were working with people who weren't that unlike myself as I was growing up in Chicago. We broke a lot of orthodoxies. At that time in our organization at Accenture, if you didn't have a 4-year degree, there was really no job you could have of any type in the organization. And so we had to break through that. I think the challenges we faced, though, were really simple at the end. I mean, they were hard as we were going through them, but again, as we built success in the program, I think the organization really embraced what we were doing, and things that should have been more difficult became a bit easier. I think it's about doing the right thing. I think it's about, we have a responsibility as business leaders here, as people who care deeply about the community and the people that we employ who live in this community, to continue to invest back and find ways to extend that reach, create more jobs, create more opportunities for people here in our local community to participate in the businesses that we're building. You'll build a better workforce. You'll personally take great gratification in this. I also think you need to stay engaged in it. It's hard, it's different, and you have to stay involved in the process. You can't just delegate this down and hope it'll happen, because it is a big change. We've built our organizations over decades to do certain things certain ways, and this is a big change. It's different for people. It's different in the way you think about recruiting. It's different in the way you think about onboarding. It's different in the way you think about mentoring. It's different in the way you think about day-to-day management of people. But it's well worth it. It's well worth the journey.
Ready to be a game changer? Visit these websites for resources and inspiration.